to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. 3 days, I've not been able to produce a video due to some commitments, and thank you very much for those who reached out. Oburu declaration after the Central Management Committee for the Orange Party to start negotiations on the 2027 election pact with UDA is nothing short of a panic direction to suppress divergent voices within the party. It clearly appears that the meeting that was allegedly called to expel Sifuna, and after that failed, and the political activities with the divergent, with the rebel voices within the party, Oburu and his team are feeling threatened, and that is why they've pushed for this negotiation. But in a real sense, I'll explain to you why they don't have the bargaining edge, even as Oburu rushes for it. And looking at William Ruto's strange demand on the ODM table, Oburu and his team are going to regret making that early decision. Was UDA really ready? Did they foresee that? We are going to look at that in this podcast. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. Some kids are making noise in the background. Click the notification bell and like our videos. And thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do this each and every day because of your big support. This Central Committee meeting that was held in Kilifi, leaders were flown by choppers, except Millie Odhiambo, who took a flight from JKIA to Mombasa, and flown by a chopper. The leaders were flown by choppers, which allegedly funded by a cabinet secretary. And you could even hear some goons were also mobilized and harassed, and their sole intention in that meeting in Kilifi was to be dispatched to harass Edwin Sifuna. If Beatrice Elachi can be allowed to bring goons into an exclusive facility like Vipingo, then why not hold the presser in a public place so that there is proper contest on who has the people? A secure facility is either secure in full or not secure at all.
Honorable Sosi, who is the deputy party leader, is in South Africa, and he has sent his apologies for being unable to attend. He tried to travel, but he was unable to. Honorable Sifuna also sent his apologies for this meeting. He missed his flight. And so both of them have the permission of the committee to be absent. Yes. So both of them have the permission of the
Wajiondoe. Gari letu limeondoka.
So I know Secretary General Sifuna was not in Mombasa, I've seen. But I want to request him, we are the ones who put you there. Please follow the party line.
So they can pick all the notes that I have and go with to opposition. Because we want a very strong opposition as we run.
You can see that while some people, it was very strategic, the plan was to hold the meeting there, make it very hostile for Sifuna. Sifuna's absence will later be used, is what is to be used for his removal as absconding his duties as the Secretary General of the party. And Sifuna insiders are saying that the plan had already been hatched Why not for Mama Ada to intervene at the last minute? The scavengers baying for his blood were not going to allow him there. And you must understand that even those who, this other talk that came, it was nothing short of threatening Sifuna of that minute. And when you look at Opondo Kaluma, I think it's not more about the party. It's about Sifuna this, Sifuna that, and they're saying that the ones who put Sifuna on seat. And it is even a lie. Opondo Kaluma was not even amongst the people that made decision for Sifuna to be the Secretary General. And in fact, I don't think the people will sit somewhere and remove Sifuna. It might not be as they will want it to be. I understand that President Ruto has allegedly told Oburu that they must eject Edwin Sifuna and the dissident voices, just like what he did to Malala when he realized Malala was associating with Gachagua, or they risk not working together in 2027 with the new voices. You must remember this meeting in Vipingo was called to eject Sifuna from the party under majoritarian rule. The decision to working with William Ruto now, we were like, we work with Ruto until 2027, then we decide. Then I said in my podcast here that that is a very weak one, and it's one that just need to decide. Then they came there, and the decision was thrown by Abdul Samad Nasir and some of the people there. Oburu has been hijacked by the Ruto mandarins, and I don't think he has the way out of this hook. UDA negotiation declaration. UDA negotiation declaration is something that is the biggest folly ODM is making, is to think that Ruto wants a coalition. Yet, he had, if he wanted a coalition, he wouldn't have folded ANC. No. And just like Eddie Okeche is saying here, this matter of negotiation for talks should not be the primary agenda of the party in preparation for the next election.
That preparing for the election is too small a job for ODM. The ODM party cannot just prepare for the election. The ODM party is a party that was founded to be able to fight for the rights of Kenyans, to be able to fight for the ideals of democracy, to be able to fight for the ideals of social democracy that means inclusive development, including things like devolution, ODM fought and brought, things like the constitution, ODM fought and brought. So it will be myopic for us as a party to think that 2027 is the most critical thing we must be focusing on. 2027 is going to come so fast, and it's going to go so fast. That means that the biggest challenge that we have in ODM now is keeping the party united and keeping the party together. That's why, despite the fact that I support this position of the party, which I've said that a number of times that we must support the organs of the party and their decisions, which I stand by, like what happened yesterday, but it was the most underwhelming meeting I've ever seen in ODM Central Committee. Because as we speak right now, we must know in ODM that our biggest task is to keep Baba's party as a legacy, alive, united, standing for the people. And that task can easily be blurred if we focus only on 2027.
And if they get a serious contender against them, this is a narrative they can face. Remember, this is the same thing that opposition is facing. That instead of opposition talking about issues and what they would want to get right in the country, they're talking about dividing positions. Now, ODM has been caught in that political quagmire. Yet again, there are several factors that Odinga stood for, that Raila stood for. Was it on devolution? On what they wanted to do? Was it on unemployment? Was it on youth affairs? Was it on political parties? Was it on electoral reforms? There's so many things that the ODM party stood for. Now, the party has been reduced to a shell by some people to sit in a corner and start deciding this is what we're going to use to talk to Ruto, give us this cabinet, give us that cabinet, give us that. Really, I think it's very selfish. And I'm told they're making a technical team of 15 people, 13 people. And a very good friend of mine is supposed to be in that team. Very good supporter of this channel. Listener, follower of this channel is supposed to be in that meeting, supposed to be in that team. Is what exactly they want to come up with. What exactly will be their TOR? What they want to argue their case on. Was it on positions and this and that on what they stood for? And ODM is facing a rough ride because William Ruto demands that the party supports him, and after supporting him, it folds to join a bigger political vehicle like the defunct Jubilee Party that Uhuru Kenyatta used in 2017. The man who formed the Jubilee Party, it was the idea of William Ruto. And William Ruto is going for that political playbook for him to get one big political vehicle. And this is why I can show you, I am not seeing the leverage edge. I'm not seeing the negotiation edge that ODM, whether the ODM really have a strong one against William Ruto. What the negotiation declaration has been the insider scheme. A section of leaders have been allaying fears, reporting fears that William Ruto is planning a grand reshuffle, the last reshuffle in 2026. That will be the last reshuffle and reorganization of his government in 2026. And that is why there is also changes in the security sector. The IG and the DCI are supposed to pave way. And these changes are likely to affect dockets where ODM people are, and pushing this deal earlier at this moment is not entirely in the interest of securing we will be in government next general election, but simply security of tenure, even for the existing jobs. That is why you could see Oparanya talking about it here.
Mheshimiwa William Ruto, kwa sababu tuliwachwa kule, na wakati huo hatukuwa na agreement baina ya William Ruto na Raila Amolo Odinga. Ni kwa sababu Raila ameenda, tumeamua kupitia kwa Central Committee paka wakae chini sasa tuandike mkataba. Tukifika 2027 tuwe na mkataba baina ya UDA na ODM. Mnasikia? Mkataba. Vyama zitaendelea vile ziko. ODM itaendelea kivyake. UDA itaendelea, lakini watakuwa wanafanyia kazi pamoja vile wanafanyia kazi sahihi. Mambo ya guns, mambo ya nini, watu kupepwa, ati wewe ni mwanaume, una bibi, una watoto, na unapepwa kwenda kutuzu wengine. Sasa kama wewe uko na tabia kama hiyo na watoto wako je?
Ndio mimi nikuwe rais. Si nyinyi mlinipigia kura? Yaani mnafikiri mimi nitakuwa mjinga niwache watu wanipigia kura niende
I would want to say, I normally find it very lazy for governors to be parading themselves when broad-based, when going to be the next government. I don't know which government a governor wants to be in, while a governor himself is a government. You know, it's a lazy one. I was in the coast over the weekend, and you could hear, I spent better part in Nyali. So when you talk to, like, the tuk-tuk, the means of transport, there is tuk-tuk. When you talk to Nyali people, especially the tuk-tuk operators, about the state of their politics and the state of what they want, no one really cares about what is going on. No one really cares about you support truth or not. It's not their thing. There's something, the big complaint in the coast about polisi wanachukua hongo kwa tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk. There is a very big complaint about garbage. It's a big problem in the coast, especially in Mombasa. So these are the things that people are talking about. Really, that is the language that Mwananchi really wants to hear. They are talking about junior secondary school. They're talking about the country is talking about education for the children. That is what people want. Bwana, mimi hata sitaki kujua kama nani ni rais na nani si rais. Hata hiyo governor, mimi hata sitaki. Mimi kitu nataka tu hizi, nataka tu kitu kwetu sawa. That's where the country is. So when you see people like Otuoma from Busia calling press briefings and just to support this and support that because of this negotiation. So you can read that people are just a bunch of con people.
Sisi kama viongozi ambao tumechaguliwa katika vyama vyetu tofauti, lakini ambao vina ushirikiano na serikali ambayo tunaita broad based government, ambayo inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto, tunasema kama viongozi ambao wako hapa leo, sisi tunaunga mkono hiyo broad based, na tunaunga mkono huyo ushirikiano na yale maelewano ambayo ilikuwa kati ya Raila Amolo Odinga na Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto iendelee kutekelezwa, na so far tunasema tuna imani na yale yametendeka. Ya pili, tunataka kusema pia tunamuunga mkono kiongozi wa ODM Daktari Oburu Odinga. Ya pili, ile mazungumzo ambayo walipitisha jana, ile 6-point agenda ya kusema kwamba ODM iko broad based, na sasa tunaelekea katika phase 2 ya kufungua mazungumzo na vyama vingine. Priority yetu ya kwanza ikiwa chama cha UDA, ili tuone hapo mbele kama tunaweza kushirikiana kuwa na coalition ambayo itang'ang'ania uchaguzi wa 2027. Mtu yoyote asiweke kizuizi yoyote kwa chama yoyote kwamba hatuwezi kushirikiana wale ambao tunaamini kwa broad based, na kuanza kufungua mazungumzo ya kuona vile tutakuwa na mikataba ya kisiasa ambayo tutasimama nayo 2027. Kama hapa Busia tumekubaliana kwamba sisi tutaendelea kuwa kwa broad based, na wale wako hapa tumekubaliana, na pia wamesema tukitoka hapa tutaenda kuzungumza na wabunge wetu, the elected members of parliament, ili tuweze pia kuwaeleza vile tumezungumza hapa in a broad based manner. Kutakuwa na wa ODM, kutakuwa na wa UDA na wale wote ambao wana support kwamba tuendelee kuwa na mazungumzo. So katika hapa mkoa Magharibi, sisi tunataka kuunda ile team, kwa sababu tayari mliona UDA waliunda team ambayo inaongozwa na Ken Lusaka. Pia upande ya ODM na wale ambao tunashirikiana nao, pia sisi tunataka tuunde team strong.
ODM insiders revealed that Ruto was pushing for that, And in the, I think that is when sometimes it was in the coast. It is very shameful, not the coast in Mount Kenya. It is very shameful that ODM way of preparation towards the next election is calling for negotiations. They've even proposed forming a technical team of 13 people, and former senator, a good friend of mine, is supposed to be there. They're simply demanding positions. This is the mistake we've ever had. And just like Kinuthia Fanyamapo says here, I think ODM has been put to where they are. You listen to William Ruto's statement in Mount Kenya, you could understand his approach and his attitude. I don't know what these people are meeting at Pumbavu. I don't know the people meeting in Vipingo had got that clip. Oburu is playing an offside match. Oburu is playing a match and is already offside. The call for negotiations in coalition building are important, but they don't come primary. And in fact, for the first time, ODM is going to negotiate without any condition. You know, let me wait and see. If you study the politics of Raila had been the candidate all through. So, even any negotiation, ODM never entered into any negotiation, tangible negotiation about how to form the next government. I don't know how you come to people and say we are negotiating so that we become the next government. I don't know how you say that. UDA is conducting its grassroots elections. The last meetings that Sifuna and Raila had, and this is a very, very, very highly placed source. Sifuna warned and told the party that they would have picked to push William Ruto as one of the conditions on this re-election politics to release the political parties fund that this government owes political parties, including ODM party. Failure to that, ODM party is going to be reduced, is going to approach President Ruto with a begging bowl. And even now as we talk, even this calls for NDC and these other things, Ruto is holding money for political parties. If political parties are funded just like ODM, they will run independent, they will be very vibrant, and actually when they come to table, they will come more strong. And like we want, no one wants to negotiate with a strong ODM. No one wants a strong ODM. All these people, politicians, are seeking an association with a party, but not a strong one. Because a strong one will have conditionalities. And those conditions is what is not working. So the thing that Sifuna warned about, let's demand that the political parties fund, I'm telling you, if they're already asking for positions, they think about the cabinet slots too much, and as if you think if they don't get cabinet people, the country is going to die, the world is coming to an end. This is the real intent. ODM leaders simply are going for William Ruto, and they are seeking this negotiation to stop infiltration of UDA in their zones. For example, Wanga is going to face a UDA candidate in Homa Bay. Kisumu is going to face a UDA candidate. Siaya might face a pro-UDA candidate. Same to the other areas. Even Mombasa, Ahmed Nasiri is facing it head-on with the Nyali MP Jichopevu, Mohamed Jichopevu. And it's not a very easy contest. The reason why they are blackmailing Ruto into this corner, this negotiation corner, is simply to insulate, to immunize themselves from candidates from stronger parties so that they can balkanize the regions. You know, we normally talk about tribalism to get this tribalist and this balkanizing Mount Kenya to a corner. Let me tell you, even these auctioneers here, masquerading as negotiators of the party, are doing the same. They're also balkanizing those regions. And that is why they're saying, we don't want UDA here. This is an ODM zone. We don't want UDA. So long as you're saying this is an ODM zone, you are doing the same thing like what Rigathi is doing. What you're complaining of doing, that is what you're also doing. You're also balkanizing the country. If we are genuine about it, then let's allow other parties to thrive. Reshuffled have rendered some jobs insecure. And people are looking at their jobs are hanging. And because of that, it is not becoming very easy. People are not finding it easy to move their way because their jobs are hanging in the line. Oburu Axis also wants to shield themselves from Sifuna Babu. And I think there is a big split within Odinga family. Not everyone agrees with Oburu on working with William Ruto. And I think he's realizing that because of that position, even Nani was challenging him, even Joho was challenging him to go and start those negotiations. And I think the fellows are scared of that NDC. And I don't know what sort of an NDC ODM is going to have, because the NDC first cannot be attended by the Secretary General, because they will be planning on how they will be planning on how they can beat her up. That's I know one. Number two, the NDC will be hijacked by the state. Now, three reasons why the ODM doesn't have the negotiation edge. They don't have the negotiation edge because there is nothing they're bringing on table. They bring nothing on table. They're not bringing much. You see, with this, they're not bringing much. What they're bringing is two counties, maybe three. Kisumu, Mabera, and Migori, maybe. Siaya is not guaranteed. Kisii and Nyamira is. So I'm even seeing, Simbarati there. What is Simbarati bringing to that table? Simbarati will not take Kisii votes away from Matiang'i, and he knows it. Amongst the people that at the right time might even leave that party. So I'm looking at, I agree with Eddie Okech. That is the most underwhelming meeting held by Oburu as the party leader. Now Oburu has to read that statement. I'm wondering, kama Secretary General ayuko, kwani chairperson hawezi soma hiyo statement? It has to be read by Oburu Odinga. I looked at that and that was very underwhelming. So that's what I'm saying. That it is very clear. It is very, very clear that that is something that had been organized there. Number two, I can also clearly see something. There is a possibility that they're not going to negotiate because those who've already gotten cabinet slots are a bit more interested in protecting their slots and getting those slots back. So the moment you have Wandai and Mbadi leading those negotiations with Ruto, remember, according to them, the ground for supporting Ruto's re-election is not on much more we can be given. It is for us to get satisfied with what we have and thank Ruto for having supported us, have given us government while we didn't vote for him. You see, that ground first will show you it's not. Number three, the party is chaotic and it is sharply divided. The division is there as to whether you choose to support Ruto or not. You might spend the whole day and spend time in media talking about unity, but it's in black and white. The party is sharply divided. Thank you.